Welcome to the Mixology of Real Estate, where agents talk about the recipes that work to build a successful business while mixing the perfect cocktail. Welcome your host, Stephen Votino.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Mixology Real Estate from downtown Raleigh in the beautiful Oak City Meatball Shop. I'm your host, Stephen Votino, and I'm with Lee Roberts, also the leader of Team Roberts in our North Hills office. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I'm very excited about this drink we're making. We're making from scratch a Bloody Mary, and all I've ever made is one from the jar where you just pour it in, you get it from the store. So I'm looking forward to this. And I'm also looking forward to talking about our subject, which is staging. And I know you like staging in this market, but I always tell our agents that anything you do prior to this market and everything you do after should be the same, because you're building a resume. Every time you go into a listing, you want to show them what you did in the past. And if we start skimping on things now, what are we going to show the next listing presentation and the one after that? So I'm very excited about this. And Lee and I actually did a TV show. How many years ago was it?
Gosh, I don't know. I was a size 12. So it was a while ago.
It was a while ago, but it was on My Carolina Today, and we talked about staging. And it's amazing what staging can do for a house, not only for attracting more buyer eyeballs, but for getting you a higher price on your listing. So
Absolutely.
I'm very excited about that.
You know, that particular one, they gave me $500 in a week. And it was in a bachelor's house. I think his wife had left him with all the college stuff. And we had to go in with $500 and a week and restage the whole thing. And it looked like a completely different house. So it doesn't cost a lot of money to stage a house.
Yeah, we did it before and after. It was great. And it was their highest rated show ever. I don't know about that, but it felt like it. So anyhow, so we're going to make this beautiful Bloody Mary, and we're going to talk about staging. So why don't we get started? Take me through this wonderful concoction.
Well, to me, I've been to a lot of Bloody Mary bars. That's one of my husband and I, our favorite thing to do when we go on vacation. We always have a Bloody Mary at the airport, or we have one on the way home in the restaurants that we go to. And
I happen to solve my hangover problems, or for breakfast.
They're great.
Yeah.
Well, I like to mix it up. So that's kind of what we're going to do. But we're going to make it from scratch, and these are going to be the best Bloody Marys ever. I've got some ice in our glasses, so they'll be nice and cold. And we're going to each make one, okay? So I'm going to give you some ice.
You're going to put me to work.
Yeah.
I love it.
I am. All right. There's you some.
Thank you.
And we're going to pour our tomato juice in to begin with.
So I should start with that.
Yep. One's for you, one's for me.
So pre-measured, so what we
That's, it's about 3.5, 4 ounces.
Okay, great. Love it.
I'll set these over here.
Oh, thank you.
All right, now we're going to doctor them
Keep our
up.
counter clean.
Okay.
Just like our houses when we stage them.
All right, exactly. Lemon juice. We're going to do just a drop in yours and a drop in mine.
Lemon juice.
Okay. Lime juice. Drop in yours.
I like this.
Drop in mine.
So we got some lime
pickle
juice, some lemon juice, and pickle juice.
You want some?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
However you make them.
We'll make it any way we want to. All right.
Lee's also a very, very good cook. Don't you have like a website or a Facebook
YouTube channel.
You have a YouTube channel.
I do. Mimi Cooks.
Mimi Cooks. Look at that. So I'm expecting a really good.
I do it for my grandkids and my kids. They love it. Okay.
A little pepper.
Just a little pepper, because we're going to put some Tabasco in there. Okay.
I love Tabasco.
And then this is a little garlic.
Okay.
Not too much. You won't get any sugar
sprinkle.
from Trisha tonight.
All right.
Okay, and then
Trish is my wife, just so we were clear about that, guys.
Celery.
Celery, thank you.
And then, what about a little horseradish?
Oh yeah, gotta have the horseradish.
So? How much you want?
As much as you'll put in there. What's good?
I'll put a lot in there.
Oh my gosh, look at that. She set me up for some hurting. This is kind of like staging. You have everything staged out here. All this ingredients that go into this drink. I think this is the most ingredients we've had on a drink on this show. Tabasco, look at that. Oh my God, she's trying to kill me, guys. There's like 20 drops in there.
Oh, we did a little
and horseradish. That's okay. That's all right.
Okay.
You'll have to do all the talking after I take a drink of this.
Okay. The only thing we like now is the vodka.
Oh, that's it? Okay. And then the garnishes, right?
And yeah, we're going to
How much vodka do we put in this thing?
Well, I'm going to use the big side.
The big side? How many ounces is that?
I don't know.
It's 2 ounces.
That's what I want in mine.
All right.
I'm only getting one.
Whoops. All right, so I'm going to fill up to the line and I'm going to Pour that in yours.
Thank
Look
you.
at that. I'm going to pour some in mine. So, also, not everyone knows this about you, but you're an actual certified stager.
Yes, I am.
There's not too many certified stagers out there. There's a lot of people who do staging, but the fact that
Right.
you're certified puts you in rare company.
Well, I'm an accredited staging professional, and I've actually staged houses for a lot of realtors, including you. When you were an active
used to sell,
realtor,
yeah.
I used to do all of your staging consults because then I get to be the bad guy. I'm the one that gets to say, Aunt Ethel's purple flower arrangement needs to go in storage. But then they like you.
They like me.
But
they really like it having the house sales and they get more money. That's what they really like.
Exactly.
They get over that shock of having to take out
Right.
the flower arrangement or take down the pictures or move around the furniture that was placed so perfectly. And my favorite was always when we used to go into houses and they would stage it themselves first. Because that was always an interesting conversation when we had to restage it.
Right, and you know, a lot of people confuse staging a home with interior decorating. I didn't come to decorate your home. Everything that makes that a home is going with you. I sell your house, and I've got to make your house look like a place that another buyer would want to live. Everything in listing a piece of property has a purpose. You know, pictures have one purpose: to entice a buyer to want to see more. I'd rather have 10 fantastic pictures than 30 mediocre pictures.
True.
Okay? Because I want them to come see the rest of the house. That's the job of the pictures. Staging is to influence a buyer's thought process. And the way we do that is by allowing them to see themselves in the home and not see all of your personal property that makes it a home. We want them to see the house and how they can make it a home for themselves.
That's
that make
perfect.
sense?
Yeah, and when I used to sell homes, I always used to talk to people because you know it is personal and it's emotional. A lot of times you raise your family and you had your kids, and you always come to me, like you said, you're taking your home with you. Your house is now a product on the market, and I think when you separate them from that, they can start really getting into the fact that things that have to be done and the direction they have to do to get that home sold. And I think it's a lot easier when you can separate those two out because it is personal, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you have a stranger come into your home, even if you have established a rapport with them, and we start taking things out of their home. And I go and I have a pre-staging consult with them. I walk through the home, and what I tell them up front is, you got to pack to move anyway. And if you've got to pack to move, why not do it on the end of the transaction that's going to be most beneficial to you?
Right.
If you wait to pack until the moving truck's pulling up, then you just left money on the table. Even in today's market. In today's market, people are going to pay for something they want. You stage a house, you're going to sell it quick. Right now, I'm going to sell it quick anyway, but you're still going to sell it for top dollar. And we want our sellers to leave the table with both.
Yeah, and didn't we just talk about today how the median home price in Raleigh has dropped in the last month? And even in this crazy market, you know, things are starting to level out. Things are staying on the market a little longer. You said you had a buyer, you were looking at homes, you were seeing things 14, 20, 30 days on the market, which we weren't seeing a couple months ago.
No.
So again, proves that we need not only to do the proper staging, photography, and everything else we need to do, get those buyers to look at the house, get those eyeballs, get that demand going, and staging is a perfect example of that. So why don't we finish making this bad boy and we garnish it. I know there's a science to the staging part.
There it is.
All right. Boy, it's going to be hot, I can tell.
You think?
I don't think they saw on camera how much horseradish actually and drops of Tabasco went in this thing.
Okay.
It even smells hot. All right.
There.
So we're going to pour this in there. Look at that. Holy cow, look at that. Just the perfect measuring there. Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, this is the fun part.
The staging of our drink.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. You want celery?
Oh, sure. I want all that. So we talked about why we need the stage. And so what's some of the science behind it? Because I know how people look at houses, there's a science behind that. And how price is driven, there's a science behind that, and there's data that supports that. So can you take us through some of that as we're making this thing look pretty?
When it comes to staging, again, what you're doing is you're influencing a buyer's thought process. So what excites a buyer? a clean house, a clean laundry room. They think if they buy that house, they'll never have dirty laundry. A clean closet. I always tell my clients I want the closet half empty or more and nothing on the floor.
Right.
Because I'm selling the wall behind your clothes and the floor under it. And if they can't see it, they can't picture it. So we've got to get rid of that. We go through the home and we take out everything we possibly can. We clean off the counters. There's probably half the stuff under your counters you're not going to use for the next year and a half. So go ahead and pack it and put the things that you do use, like your toaster oven and your Vitamix, under there and clean your counters off. And then you just pull it out when you need it. Same thing with under your bathroom cabinets. The things under there, you use your toothbrush, you use your blow dryer, the towels, your moisturizer, and the plunger, you know. There's enough room under there for a basket.
After this drink, I might need one of those.
All you need is a basket to put all your toiletry items that you leave up on the counter. You rake them off in there and stick them under. And in today's market, if you do it right, you're only going to have to do it about twice.
That's true. So it's not a lot of effort.
Exactly.
One thing that you taught me, which I thought was really interesting, is how our eyes move across the room. And it made me start thinking about how certain items are placed in the room, especially the size. And it wasn't it left to right, or was it right to left that we looked?
Everybody, you don't know you do, but everybody reads a room the same way you read a book, from left to right. And you know how when we're reading a paragraph, we don't even slow down on the and, buts, and ors. We slow down on the words that make the paragraph make sense. We read a room the same way. When you walk into a room, you scan the room from left to right, and your eyes stop at the heaviest or the darkest object that you see. So on a mantelpiece, you're going to put the heaviest item on the right-hand side. That is if you're coming in on the left-hand side. When you walk into a room, you don't want a big dresser here on this side or on this side if you're walking into a room, because automatically you see that and your eyes stop, and then you scan the rest of the room and the room is automatically smaller. That's why you put your accent wall as far away from you as you possibly can, because your eyes aren't going to stop until you get way over there to the accent wall, and then the room seems huge. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense to me.
Okay.
I mean, you taught me everything I know about staging. It helped me sell my houses like incredibly fast all the time.
And that was back when the market was tanked in 2009
you know what's
and
interesting
10.
Too, is in all my neighborhoods that I farmed, that I listed, and you staged all of them, I was always the highest per square foot in every neighborhood, and that's a fact. And it had a lot to do with the staging and photography. And a lot of times when you were helping stage, we would stage for photography and then stage for the viewing, because how the room photographed versus how you might walk into a room is completely different. So we spent a lot of time actually moving around things to take the photo and then putting it back.
Because things look fine in person, but they look terrible in a picture. I call it room dandruff. When you see a picture and it's got 14 pictures on the coffee table and 4 remote controls, and the Roku's in the floor, okay? Do you remember the house that we staged in Raleigh? And I went, it was the one before the TV crew came, and I went and I put the green apples out and I cleaned the front of the refrigerator, and that night at 10 o'clock, you called me and said, your client had just gotten home and he loved it. The house looked fantastic, but he couldn't find any of his remote controls. He couldn't find any of his phone chargers. He couldn't find anything. Where were they? And I had put them in the onion drawer under his sink and told him not to turn the dryer on.
Did you call it an onion drawer?
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh, wow.
I think I did.
I think my mom had one of those.
An onion drawer? You don't
and
have
potatoes?
an onion drawer?
No, I don't have an onion drawer. I didn't even know they had such a thing. But my mom put onions, potatoes in the same place, but I think it was in the pantry into this like bin. It was kind of a onion bin.
Okay.
But, God, this looks good.
All right.
Are you going to get to drink it soon?
I'm done.
You're done?
Here, look. There. Now I'm done.
Wow.
You ready?
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
This looks lovely and probably really hot. Wow, that is a really good Bloody Mary.
Mine's not hot at all.
It's not hot?
I can see the horseradish floating
I know,
in
it's
it,
just
though.
floating. You see all these little white speckles? You probably can't see it on camera, but it's everywhere. Well, this is fantastic. As I'm chewing and swallowing, I will wait till I swallow just before speaking. I think that the lesson here is that do not skimp on your listings. It doesn't matter the market and how fast things are selling or not selling, because like we said in the beginning, as one of our agents told me, it's like building your resume. And if you're not building your resume, what are you going to have, right? So like me, I was able to go house to house in a farming neighborhood and show them the product I was delivering and what I was getting per square foot for the house. And I was winning listing after listing because I had the results and I had the proof to back those results. And I think it's really important in today's market still, because what's going to separate you? Because we know these are flying off the shelf, but what's going to separate you from getting that little extra money, right, at the closing table? And not to mention just the extra service and benefits that you're bringing to them. And people love their homes, and showing their home in the best light on camera is going to make them feel really good about the entire process as well.
So to me, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, pride of ownership. I talk about pride of ownership with my buyers all the time. If we go in a home and the gardens are not kept and the yards are not cut and the walls are dirty and the carpet's dirty, when do you think the last time they changed their HVAC filter was? Or went up in went up in the attic to see if they had a leak? You know, that's an outward sign of an inward way of life. And I feel the same way about my profession. Just because houses are flying off the market doesn't give me the excuse not to be the high-trained, award-winning professional that I and most Century 21 agents are. It's all about pride of ownership, owning my profession and owning who I am. Well, and I'm not going to change it just because the market does.
Cheers to that. That's a great way to end this episode. Okay. Thanks, Lee. I really appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you again on Mixology Real Estate. Cheers.